side. Watch out, I go show all you the worst side of me. Bring out the worst side of me. And when I drink a little rum, me bring the best side of me. Girl on the north side of me, girl on the west side of me. I play fast, I go show all you the true side of me. Flatten on the inside, mash up on the inside, mass on the inside, jog up on the inside, I drunk on the inside, flatten on the inside, wet up on the inside.
Where this week we have some journey, right? As you all know, it's all about the music. Without the music, there's no carnival. And we have some of our very own UK artists coming to tell us about their carnival experiences. So, what we're going to do is everybody introduce themselves, and I want to know there's so many other genres of music, but why did you choose soca? So
let me give you some love and affection. You got my attention. You need no correction. Major poor blessings in your direction. You got my attention. What an impression.
I don't know what I did, but yeah, it's coming up with
so long I've been waiting to be with you all alone. I've been anticipating. The first time we kissed was breathtaking. And girl,
okay.
Right, I'm back. I can see everybody now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 50 Shades of Carnival Countdown with myself, Remy D, and alongside the Carnival Slayers. Now, we all know Notting Hill Carnival is coming up. Excitement. And without carnival, well, the one main thing people think about when it's carnival is music. And this week we have been joined by, well, I had the pleasure of interviewing some of the UK's top soca artists. When I tell you I'm excited to get into this chat today, you would not believe. I have some questions we need answering. So, without further ado, I want everybody to introduce themselves, because I mean, I all know you, but I want everybody to get to know you as well. So if you want to tell me who you are, how you got into singing soca, and where did it all begin for you? And we're going to go straight in with White Boy.
Well, my name is White Boy, obviously straight out of UK. I'm from West London originally. Yeah, to be fair, it's a long one, but you know, if we're trying to cut it into an interview, because otherwise I'll just be speaking the whole interview for this question. But you know, it's a variation of many things. Obviously, I just started as a fan, just you know, I was about, let's say 13, 14 in my adolescence, and discovered carnival. Obviously, it's on my doorstep, right? So boom, I discovered it. A lot of West Indian friends in school and trying to drag me to carnival, but I wasn't allowed because I was too young. And you know, but the moment I actually attended as a fan, I just fell in love with soca. So it was just like, yo, it wasn't even as such in the beginning, the music itself. It was more like what the music did to people, you know what I mean? So, you know, long story short, I became a fan. I was obsessed. I just, you know, was attending loads of fests. And then I feel like personally, obviously everyone may have a different opinion, but I felt like I had this urge in my belly, this hunger in my belly to be on a stage, to perform and to entertain, you know what I mean? So I was like, I wanted to do music. So then I was like, well, what? I could have easily said, let me do grime or drill or, you know, a UK birthed genre, let's say. But I felt like I loved the vibe too much. And, you know, obviously soca, whether it's power or groovy, has a high tempo. So I was just like, I'm a very high tempo character anyway. So I was just like, yeah, it just makes sense. I love the music. I want to make music. So put me on that stage, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I thought, let me just have a go, and just, you know, and thankfully it's worked out okay so far, you know what I mean? So yeah.
That's good. Inspirational. See, if you don't try, you won't know.
Right.
I like
exactly.
Next,
exactly.
We're going to go to Nadiva and Sunshine. Now, I know you two are a duo, and I honestly thought you two would have been together in the same place, but never mind. So yeah, we'll go to the both of you. I don't know if you want to talk one for the other or both together. It's up to you, but Where did it all start for you both? And how did you get started into singing soca? Oh, can you even hear me?
Yeah, go on, Sam.
Oh,
I'm muted, so I thought you was gonna speak. But yeah, as you said, we're sisters. I guess we always sang together, growing up. Our dad is very musical, so is our mum. We grew up in the house listening to soca, reggae, lovers rock, dancehall, like literally music from the Caribbean. We're West Indian, our parents are. We sang in choirs at school. We went to like performing arts school. We did music lessons. We sang classical. We sang theatre music. We sang in church. We were in our church choir. So we were always singing, dancing, performing, acting, like doing everything performance based. And then why did we start singing soca? We always knew we wanted to be artists. Well, I can't really speak for both of us, but I'm pretty sure we did. We grew up watching films like Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It, Michael Jackson 5 and The American Dream. Okay, we watched Tina Turner, What's Love Got to Do a bit later on in life, but you know, Michael Jackson 5 and The American Dream, like watching their whole story growing up as kids and siblings. I feel like that really resonated with us. And they are overall performers, and I just feel like we were just engulfed in music and entertainment. And then we had an opportunity. We wrote a song, a soca song, because I don't know, there was just no other genre. Like White Boy said, yeah, we're in the UK, but this is our culture and this is the music that we're most passionate about. So when we considered writing songs and becoming artists, soca was always that genre. We both had written songs that were not soca before, like at school for our GCSEs. We had both composed songs that were like gospel or R&B. But yeah, when we became artists, we soca was just always going to be that. And growing up, we just didn't know of any UK soca artists, like growing up young, apart from, what's that guy's name? We went to the park and we had a poster of him, SW Storm or something. Like, I remember seeing him perform when we were really, really young. And then obviously we got older and then learned about the Scrappies. We was obsessed with Scrappy at one point. Like, you know, but yeah, overall, it's like, I used to write on paper, literally.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that rapping element to soca, but for me, it was just a soundtrack. I felt like soca music in the household was the soundtrack to happiness. Like everywhere I went, school and that, like I'm hearing one genre, but in my family, it was soca, and it made everyone happy. So that's the music I wanted to sing. Yeah. So yeah, I guess, and then we are sisters, and we always sing together, and it just happened that we would always do that together. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I like that. The soundtrack to happiness. You're very correct. We're very correct. Next, we're gonna go to Trinity Boy Juicy.
How you going? You all right?
I'm fine, and yourself?
Yeah, man. Good, man. How did I get into soca? I think for me it was I've been heavily influenced by culture. You know, being Trinidadian, playing pan. You know, being around the culture most of my life. I remember, I think the changing point was I remember going to Marshall AC5. So where he used to do like the Marshall Mondays, it used to be AC like 1, AC 2, AC 3, and it was Marshall AC5, so which would have been 2005. And I remember being in the crowd and having that feeling of, he sang a song called Hide and High. And I remember just being in the crowd and taking off my jersey and be back and just waving and, you know, just feeling that exhilarating, you know, that feeling. And I said I could do that. And it so happened that the first time that I was on stage is when I came over as a young panist. And the first time was in 98 Cannes with Ebony Steelband. I sang Footsteps, Wayne Rodriguez, Footsteps. And I think them times I didn't really know what I was doing. It's like, yeah. My voice was high, I was hype, you know, it was just like, he's cute, so let's put him in front of the band. And that was like, I guess, my first introduction to being on stage. But I didn't actually take it up until I would say probably 2009, where at college, leaving leaving college. So 2007, 8, going 2009. Me and myself and Tunji was very close. He had left to go back to Trinidad, and DJ Shiny was like, "Yo, you need to come and write some songs, man. Come on, vibes." And he was the one that really put me on. Used to listen to you on radio. Used to listen to Shiny on radio. You know what I mean?
Oh God,
Back in them
I
times,
remember.
FM. You know what I mean? Like I remember.
You showed my age. Oh God, oh God.
And it was like, that's where it started for me. And I guess when I went to university, being away from the culture, I was forced to, because I was hearing Afrobeat, not Afrobeat, it was funky house at the time. And my whole vision was the teething elements of our genre, but not giving it credit, and I guess that's where it sparked for me, where it was like, I need to represent for this genre. And I guess from 2009 till this day, I've been a strong advocate, because I think within the last probably 5-6 years is where people start to tap into the culture. They start to travel more, so they know more of the soca music. So yeah, that's kind of how, I was when I say I got into it with a message, to want to represent for a genre that is underrepresented. And then to big up to Chardonnay. She was my huge inspiration, because she was a female singer, songwriter, producer, and that's kind of where it sparked for me, So in a nutshell, yeah.
Okay. Oh. And last but by all means not least, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, it's Padjo, isn't it?
Spot on. Could you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Well,
So
for
yes.
me, I was always like the little wild soca junkie in the family, all the family outings. I was the one whining with the aunts and everyone, right? So it was sort of I can talk my business. So yeah, I was the one out there just doing the most. But soca was something I think I knew I wanted to do, but I never knew how to get about doing it. And at a young age, I was a sportsman, so I played a lot of cricket. So music sort of went on the back burner for a little bit. And where I fell in love was, again, another Marshall influence was Big Truck. That's when I got my first wine. I'd never forget it. And from that day, it was like, yeah, hooked on soca. I remember the young lady name to this day, but I wouldn't call it on the live. But when I moved to the UK at 19, I wanted to do it. But again, I had a young family at the time, and music sort of got put on the back burner because it was survival mode. I had to survive in the UK, and then I was in the armed forces for a little bit, away from the culture for a bit. And then I went to one boat party in the UK, and that's when I sort of got into the journey of soca within the UK. And I wanted to do it, but still it wasn't the right time. But got into event management, so I was doing a lot of boat parties and events, promoting them within the UK. So everyone knew me as an event promoter in the UK. But there was a DJ by the name of DJ Buju, rest in peace. We was cool, and we got to talking one time, and he said to me, but if you want to smoke, smoke. You want drink, drink. You want sing, sing. Life too short. And I was like, you're right. But when he passed, that message resonated. I really need to do this thing. I really need to do it. Look, my phone overheating now, but I think. But I had a friend in Guyana, Joel Brown. He's a producer. He always used to send me rhythms. So he sent me this rhythm one time, and I wrote a song in 15 minutes, quick. I didn't even know I could do that. Quick, and I sent it back, and he said, yo, this thing have a vibe, but you really want to do it? I said, yeah, I could consider doing it. And when Buju passed away, I hit up Joel again. I said, Joe, that rhythm still there? He said, yeah. I said, well, let me do something. And that's how 2020, I'm probably the one with the least experience on the live here. I did Amas, was my first song. And I wanted to take that to Guyana Carnival. I was like, yeah, I go and mash up stage in Guyana with this song. But I know people would have been like, who is he? Where he come from with that? But COVID happened.
Oh, we've lost him. But when he comes back, he can jump into the next question. I'm just going to quickly just say what my favorite song is from each of you, because I know as a DJ, we have so many other islands of soca that we play, and sometimes the UK does get overlooked. I know it's bad. I'm going to put my hands up, but I just want to give you all your appreciation, because you got to make some good tunes. I'm no particular order. Sun Divas, I mean, you put out a lot of songs, but my favorite of all time is, I think I'm going to pronounce this, Jeje. Is that it? That one, that's a constant repeat. And I don't really, I'm from half Dominican, so I should know how to speak the kind of Creole a little bit. But yeah, that song is up there. I really, really like it. I like the melody and the backing vocals. I know obviously you two must harmonize because you two are sisters, but it's a really, really nice song. White Boy, I know you're going to be flinging around that Cobra this carnival.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, the rhythm itself is fire, but the lyrics are Cobra. I don't really like snakes, but I wanted to risk it for a wind up carnival this year. That tune does come on. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And also, your first tune, Big Ben. My family in Grenada was asking me if really we just go in Big Ben and wind up, and I was like, no, it's not like that. It's a big clock. I had to tell them about it because,
It's mad, no one actually knew the double entendre. Like, no one knew what the Big Ben actually was. So it's like they just assumed it was just very blunt. Like, I was talking about one thing and that's it. But it was supposed to be.
I had to explain. I had to show people, like, no, this is it. You can't go there and whine, get arrested, all that, Yeah. Mr. Trinity Boy Juicy. I have two. Everyone's going to say Bottle Overhead because that is a tune. But Dirty Mass. Listen, that song, the bass line. Yeah. If I don't hear that,
the original one or the remix?
I like both of them. Reason being, because the original is, you can really feel like the jab essence in there. But the remix now, it gives a more UK flavor because they're rapping on there, UK grime on there. I was like, who knew? UK grime and soca together.
Yeah.
I love it. And Padro, he's not even here, but his song Risk It All, I was very close to, I'm not going to lie. But that's a good song too. So I'm going to jump into the next question. And I want you to be as honest can be. What are your thoughts on the UK Soca Monarch competition? And do you think that more could be done to give it the recognition that it deserves? Where you going, Trini boy? Where you going? Who shall we go to first? Well, ladies first, Nadiva and or Sunshine. Let us hear your thoughts.
Which one are you talking about?
The UK Soca Monarch. So I think they had one before the pandemic. I think, don't quote me, it was Mr. Zaya that won it. Then they had it in, I want to say it was the Tabernacle.
Nope. It was that one was virtual, and it was the Calypso tent, so ACASA who put that one on. But basically, there's another one run by Soca News, so that's what I was just asking.
Well then I'm talking about the one by Soca News.
No, there's a next one, the one that Kuku P.
The EU thing, the EU. So
this is why he needed to be here, but he's making his way.
Yeah. So if you're talking about the Soca News one. To be honest, it hasn't had a presence for quite a few years. I mean, I'm not really into the politics of who runs the Soca Monarch. I don't really care, but I don't feel like the UK should have several, join forces and do one. That's my take for starters, because it's confusing. And then what does it really mean if you win it, if there's another one you can go and win with the same title? Doesn't make sense to me. So that's one thing. My views on it, when it was around, I feel like it needs more backing, more funding. Me and Sunshine, we took part in St. Vincent Soca Monarch,
and just to like see how it runs, like going from applying to preliminaries to semis to finals, and just seeing how they run a Soca Monarch, it just showed me how much we don't have an infrastructure here. And when I say infrastructure, that relates to how your song gets played and pushed. Even though there have been attempts, I'm not saying that it wasn't, you know, your song wasn't pushed or released anywhere, but I'm talking about like radio play and stuff like that. When it comes to finance, the truth of the matter is me and my sister used to invest a lot of money into doing Soca Monarch competitions. And we definitely made a loss every single time, made a loss. Because the prize money could never make up how much we put into it financially, which leaves you at the end feeling a bit deflated, even if you do win, because we've won about 4 times. But what's the point in winning if you're at a loss financially? Because people can't live without moolah. So, you know, so like the funding element, I think is really important. I think Coco P's, I don't know, the way he promotes it, it sounds like it might be backed more. I don't know. But I don't know the ins and outs. So, but the bottom line, I think, is to maybe they should just join forces. I personally, I'm not interested in competition, because I feel like at this stage, if you just compete every year, what are you gaining? If you've won several times, one, make room for other artists to come in and grow the genre. And 2, like, what's your point of just keep going back to the same competition to get the same trophy? I mean, you can do it if you're trying to say, you know, I've won this Monarch 20 times and you won. That's great, but we're in the UK. So for me, it doesn't make sense. So that's why now we're competing in our islands. And we came out 10th in the finals of St. Vincent Soca Monarch and Raga finals. 8th, sorry. We were top. I keep thinking 10 because I keep thinking top 10. But yeah, we came 8th and we were the top females as well. So like now my focus is there. It's not really here for competition. So I don't really have strong views anymore like that because I'm not really involved. But if someone asks my feedback, that's what it would be.
I do have one extra thing to add to that. Like that was all like a lot of constructive criticism. But if I can say like one positive thing, just no matter like how, you know, it might have been able to be done better, like having that competition definitely gave Nads and I opportunity to showcase our talent, put our name on the map for UK. Like I don't think like people knew us because of Monarch. They knew us because our performances they thought were great, and they didn't know who we were before. So it was an opportunity for people on the scene to learn about us. So that was good, and I feel like it was like the intro to our career in the UK. But once you've done that a certain amount of time, and if the audience isn't growing, like the attendees, if it doesn't change or it doesn't evolve or it doesn't grow or the promotion for the event doesn't get better, then once you've done that, you've kind of captured the people who do attend or do care. And then you kind of have to move on to other stuff. But I do feel like if, like Nad said, like some things were done to change some of that, then it could attract a bigger audience, more traction, and then that could be an incentive for artists to participate. But yeah.
So let me say one more thing. On a positive, I think that it was good to be able to, as an icebreaker, it's really good when you go out into the world of soca. When you come out of the UK and you go into the islands, you don't need to talk too much. Hey, I've got a song. Can I send you my song, or can you listen to my music, or I'm an artist? You just say I'm the UK Soca Monarch, and it's like, what? Do you know what I mean? So it's a really good icebreaker. So I liked it for that. Yeah.
Okay. Trilly Boy Juicy.
I don't know nothing about no Soca Monarch, yeah?
Oh, Lord.
Nah, similar to the girls, it's funny because I think with everybody who's on the live here, we have some kind of like interaction regarding like coming into the genre or working. And I remember when I first started, again, for me it was more about establishing you know, my name here, the brand, but also to bring in that production, you know, and for years, me and these girls was in battles. We went to the trenches, you know what I mean? We busting we budget on production because we talking about dancers, stage props, smoke machine, confetti, you name it. It is either I win, they win, I win, they win, they win, I win. It was fierce, you know what I mean? We didn't even talk, you know what I mean? It was very, very, it was competition like this, you know? And so it was good back then because it was raw, you know, the Soca Monarch, and I must give credit to, you know, the individuals who put it on, you know, big up to Soca News because they were the first ones who really tried. You know, but again, as the girls mentioned, there was a lack of support with the funding and attending and you know, people attending the event, you know, which was disappointing, you know, honestly, because when you spend that amount of money and your dancers to pay and this to pay and outfit, and sometimes you just want to see that reflected, you know. So in that sense, you know, it was a huge platform to establish yourself here. But not only here, as they mentioned, you know, when I went on to the Caribbean, which I was in Soca Monarch 2014 semi-finals in Trinidad, you know, it was already having that Soca Monarch experience here and going there and again, simply again applying myself, you know, and doing what I have to do. You know, so I think the Soca Monarch competition is good, but me personally, again, I think it's a good for when you now start to project yourself, get that experience. But when you is an established artist, if there's no kind of solid financial gain or long-term plan to, I guess, to project your career as an artist or your brand, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? For me personally, you know. So yeah, and as for the new one, you know, I wasn't really too. I went there as a spectator. You know, I went there to support the EUK when Wetty won. You know, which should have been the year before. And to see, you know, how they trying and they building it up. But again, you know, I think rather than just putting on a show, we should really think about what is the long-term goals of the artist. You know, that should be the fundamental focus, you know, on how can we develop the artists, how can we develop their talent. So it's not just about winning money, but how can we provide a package that's going to help them develop their writing, their production, their, you know, marketing, their, you know, so more of a long-term gain. But yeah, it's good for when you now start and trying to, you know, establishing yourself.
Okay. White boy, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna be blunt and honest. Like, I can't really. I'll be straight up. I didn't even know. You see, when I first come into that, obviously I knew there was Monarchs. Like, I was always watching Trinidad and Grenada and stuff, but I didn't. I saw one and I saw two, and like the girl said in the beginning, I got confused. I said, so what's like? I'm a very like structured person, so I want to know like, what is the official like one? And I'm not gonna lie, I'll be straight, no disrespect to anybody. I saw it and I said, does this look like it's gonna benefit me in any way, shape, or form? And I said, like, you know, it's all about summing up things, like if something's gonna be worth it for you. Same way if your job, my job is music, so if you're gonna go for a job, you have to look at everything and say, is it worth it for me? And I looked at it and I said, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not really for me. Just that one. But I do feel like personally, if there was one that was this big stage show and they've done something to make sure there's a huge crowd and there's a lot of funding, like the girls said, and something like that, like, and it was a massive event and it was really, you know, like all the soca, like I love unity, so I love, like, if I was the CEO, all the UK soca DJs, the promoters, and all the artists there, like everyone's performing and everyone's involved. Like, for me, that would be amazing. Like, I'll be like, yeah, cool. But I was asking a few people, like, are you taking part? And he's like, no. And is this videographer, is he attending? He's like, no. So it just didn't seem like it was a big enough like thing for it to benefit me, if that makes any sense. But same way, like I said, I would love to, you know, take part if I felt like it would benefit me, like if that makes sense. Because I don't know, I feel like also one point as well, I feel like to say, I feel like me personally, my vision of what I see soca in the UK to be and what I'm pushing for. I'm not saying that everyone should have this aim, but I see it a little bit differently, and I feel like it's maybe a little bit like that's for the islands, and maybe that's what it should be, you know. I feel like that's their thing, but I feel like over here soca will probably go in a different direction than how the islands have developed the genre over there. If I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I feel like the direction over here may be a little bit differently, may take a different route to how the islands have grown the music, and you know what I mean. I feel like it will be a very different journey for us here. So yeah, man, I don't know, but yeah, let's hope that I see it kind of, you know, elevate and get bigger and stuff, and then, you know, you never know, I may take part if I'm invited to take part, of course, you know what I mean. So
Okay.
yeah, man.
Pajo.
Yeah, I want to hear Pajo.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna break this down two ways: the music and the production of Soca Monarch. From an event manager's headspace, the management poor. It's poor. It's terrible. The marketing is terrible. From the graphics to market the event is poor. So it's not exciting anyone. It just looks like someone's doing something and a few people want to be part of it. That's from an event. I'm a consummate professional when it comes to things. I will tell you it as it is, but I'll also give advice as to how it could be bettered. And I've done so in the last competition that I've joined this year, which has got a lot of work to be done before it could be taken seriously, right? For me, there is an opportunity for a monarch, but it needs to be endorsed by the Notting Hill Carnival community or whatever, you know, I can't remember the terminology. And it needs to be hosted around Carnival. It needs to be something that us as artists look forward to, because this is part of our culture. We grow up seeing monarchs and how you feel if you won, because the competition is stiff, and it just gives us a platform to market our music, market ourselves as artists and whatever. In terms of the representation that is being portrayed in Soca Monarch, I found it very insultive this year to see some of the genres that was being classified as soca. Because what are we doing? Are we making a mockery out of our culture, out of the genre? Because that's how people is going to perceive it, right? So if we're going to do something like this, we need to do it properly. And if it's done properly, it's going to excite a lot of upcoming artists, even current artists. I would love to be on stage competing against Juicy, against White Boy, Sun Divas. I would love to see it, because you know what? It wouldn't even be a negative type of competition. It would actually be us trying to advertise our craft and show the music that, you know, the quality of music that's coming out of here at the moment, and the work that we've been putting into it. But if people don't take it serious, if the administrators, if the event managers who are trying to put this together don't realize that this is actually far bigger than any one of us, it would just be laughed at and it wouldn't go anywhere. So that's my 2 pence. I won't go any further now. He come down nearby.
I want to know what the joke is.
I know why he laughing, but we gonna leave it there.
He's not even gonna put on his mouth. All right, okay.
They say in Pajo, you think on emergency or what? They say if I bring emergency and kick him here, you have no light. What's going on there? What's going on? Yeah.
Why the camera terrible?
That was an interesting take on, you know, this UK Soca Monarch, which then leads me to my next question: is do you think that UK soca or soca from the UK should be taken more seriously during the Notting Hill Carnival season? As in, should it be? The reason why I say this is because I know obviously we've got Barbados Carnival coming up, Grenada, Antigua is happening sort of now, and I've listened to a few of the radio stations, and 95% of the music on there is just soca alone. If you can't tell me 3 soca songs from 2022 from these islands, you haven't been listening to this radio station. And every time I listen to them, it's just a hype. Like, they're getting you ready for Carnival, and they're only playing like the local music from that island. Okay, they'll play other islands as well, but it's predominantly like the Soca Monarch songs you're gonna hear constantly. The groovy songs you're going to hear constantly, and they just mix and blend it with everything else. But in the UK, we don't really have that. So this is why I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that during, the Notting Hill Carnival season, UK Soca Monarch should be taken more seriously, to the effect of where, local stations should have at least, I don't know, just thinking maybe every day should have like a power play of the top soca songs for the UK soca that's going to be played at the Carnival. Again, more emphasis onto the Soca Monarch so people are aware of it and can get involved with it. I'm going to go to Pajo. What's your take on that?
Juicy gonna start laughing again, right? For me, the problem is, right, in the Caribbean, when music is being pumped throughout a season, it's because all the radio stations are for that country. It's represented, the music will play because everyone is in that mindset. In the UK, we don't have a mainstream radio station that is specifically gonna pump soca music all the time. The mainstream stations, yes, closer to Carnival, will start to play more of the commercial songs that are hitting the airwaves globally. They're not looking inside to see what they have, because at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. They look to see the hot songs or the popular songs, the popular push. They will use DJs from an international standpoint to suggest the songs to them that are popular, right? So in terms of what we're doing in the UK, I think the focus should be more on better quality produced music, and you've started to see that happening now, right? So the excuse that a lot of the DJs had before of, or the music is not properly produced, or we don't want to play that music, they can't really be having some of those conversations now. So that's where the focus for me should be now. Let's aim to just keep upping the standard and the quality of music that's coming out of here, because good quality music will be listened to, and they'll eventually be forced to play it. So if you look at the end of the day, drink water, mind your business. Probably the first song I hear get rinsed on radio, BBC radio, for the longest while from soca. Other than that, you're not hearing anything really being played like that. And why? Because that went viral on social media, TikTok, people doing stuff. So the question is, how do we get our music on mainstream radio so that it could start to be played to the masses? Then it will be taken serious. That's my views.
Okay. And White Boy, what's your views?
Yeah, a little bit of what Paja said. I feel like, personally, I feel like they will play it. They will play it if it's good enough. That's even, including myself, obviously. And I feel like a lot of the times it's not even about it being good enough. Like, the sound, the sounds itself is good. The song is good. I can listen to a Trini Boy Juicy or Mersey or Pterodine and say, yo, the song is bad, or Sun Divas, and be like, yo, that song's bad. But including myself, I feel like the marketing game of what we're doing here, of what needs to improve personally. And I feel like once that happens and the numbers start coming in, because I feel like, for example, when Trini Boy Juicy, Bottle Overhead, mad numbers, mad attention on social media, mad play in every fet. When was that? 2020? Yeah. yo, look, it got the radio play. Maybe not as much as it deserved, but it got. I'm sure Trinity Boy Juicy was happy with the amount of radio play in comparison to previous years or whatever. You know what I mean? So I just feel like, yo, if the song was good and the music video was good and the promotion and the marketing was good enough, I feel like it will get played. I don't feel like there's anyone in particular to blame. I feel like, you know, as an artist myself, I can only ever blame myself. If it's not getting played on the radio, then I'm not working hard enough. It don't matter what genre it is. That's how I feel personally. It's like, I'm not working hard enough. I'm doing something wrong. Like, I can't go and say, why is the DJ not playing my song? The DJ's not playing my song because the song's not big enough. Go back to the studio and get back to work. You know what I'm saying? Personally, myself. But, you know, I don't know. It'd be good to hear another take on it. But yeah, I just feel like marketing-wise and promotion-wise, we could do a lot better here, you know, personally.
Okay. Sun Divas, also, if you are listening and you want to make a comment, do put it in the chat so we can hear your views. Yes, Sun Divas, what is your take? Do you think UK soca music should be taken more seriously during the Notting Hill Carnival season?
I feel like it should be taken seriously all year round, but of course, Notting Hill Carnival is a pinnacle event on the calendar and like one of the hugest festivals in Europe, if not the hugest, and one of the hugest in the world. So yeah, of course, soca is the music of that festival, so there should definitely be increased push. I agree with what's been said, but also disagree. Like, I feel like everything is twofold. Like, I've heard a million rubbish songs on the radio, but they're signed to a label. The label has money, and the money pay for the marketing strategy. And then we're all singing whatever the rubbish song is. And that's the reality of it, because there's power in marketing and in money and in budget. Like, I know that labels pay for plays on mainstream radio stations. Soca artists don't necessarily have that money. Soca doesn't have that money. So naturally, it's always going to be harder. Of course, you can catch a win on social media and someone could repost the video that you did and they could have influence. And then all of a sudden, your song's going viral, like a Jada Pinkett drinking water and minding her business. She's huge. If she does that, loads of people might join in the challenge. The likelihood of Jada Pinkett stumbling on a Sun Diva TikTok, not impossible, just less likely than her stumbling on a Patrice Roberts who's already big in her island. So yes, but I also agree with White Boy, like, what are you gonna do? Cry about it, or are you just gonna work harder? So it's twofold. Yes, we have to do all of the work, like Padro said, make sure our productions, our songs as banging as it can be, put out great work. Also try and do the maddest marketing campaign. But I know that, like, we wouldn't know about Apple if they didn't do like, they probably got crowdfunding from loads of investors who then invested in Apple, and now we all have iPhones and Apple Macs. Like, if they didn't have money, we wouldn't know about it. If McDonald's couldn't pay for billboards every 2 seconds next to a tube station, someone standing with a placard saying McDonald's is 30 miles meters ahead of you, like, we literally wouldn't know. But do I have that money? Probably. I don't have McDonald's money. So yeah, like, we should definitely work hard. I feel like someone with power could just say, do you know what? I like the music from the Caribbean. I like soca. Maybe we should give them a whole 1 hour on Capital Extra or BBC Radio, or not even the extras, just Capital Radio. Like, and then let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure everybody's numbers will go up. Pretty sure everybody's songs will be streamed a little bit more than they are. But it's just about finding that. I don't know if it's up. Yeah, it's just about, like, keep working hard until someone potentially recognizes it. Like Trini Boy, pretty sure he went to Trinidad to push Bottle Overhead. Like, he's even shown videos of when he was there, the crowd were just, you know, vibes him, watching him. Months later, they were all singing the song. Like, he had to get on a plane, push his song in Trinidad. We've done it. Our song, Take It, it was doing all right in the UK. We went to St. Vincent, pushed it, but again, that took budget, that took money, that took finance, that took networking. We had a manager who was helping us out there. We literally, you can't do it alone. You need help. No.
So it's fair to say you get shown more love for your music than abroad than you do in the UK?
No, abroad there's a better infrastructure. Like if you go to Trinidad, if you go to the islands, like you said, every radio station, their main focus is carnival, so they're playing soca. So it's just way more likely that you can drop someone an email and say, "Look, I've come from the UK, I've got a song. Can I have an interview? Can you play my song?" It might be a yes. If I message, I've been on Capital Extras thing on their homegrown, and you send the email, and they're like, "Yeah, we got your email. We'll get back to you if we see it." If they see it, they probably got like a million emails, and none of them sounded like your music. Probably sounded like what they used to hear in drill, grime, garage, funky, like the genres that they're used to in the UK. That's going to resonate with them more, and then naturally they might pick those songs more. So your chances are just it's just harder here. Not impossible, and like we've seen, like our stats have grown, like our streams have grown over the years. Social media has definitely helped. It just helps to bring visibility to your music, and then with visibility, the labels come. You go viral on TikTok, the labels will start calling you. But yeah, anyway, I think I've said enough. Don't know if you want to add anything, Naz.
Truly Boy Juicy, want to add anything?
There isn't a blueprint to this. Like there isn't. I mean, for me, I went from taking people telling me, "Boy, you had to go and live in Trinidad. You had to go and live over there for a couple of months to get your boss. You had to thing. You had to do this. You had to do that." I'll tell you the number one thing that I focused on is the quality of music. You understand? That's one thing. Over the years and every year, I've set myself different tasks in how to develop the craft, whether it's image, whether it's performance, what about the performance, how you present yourself, where you perform. When I first started, I was predominantly performing in non-soca events because I wanted to raise awareness, So I think there is no blueprint. There is where you vision yourself and what is your focus. If your focus is to bust, you will struggle because it's gonna take a lot of money, a lot of time, and it's not guaranteed. Whereas if your focus is quality music or the brand or whatever it is you're pushing, and you believe in that, naturally over time you will improve, you will get better. And like for me now, the everybody talking about bottle overhead, but bottle overhead was the catalyst to why, or the icing on the cake of years of grinding, years. You know what I mean? As they mentioned, I don't like to dwell on it too much, but I had to buy it's 3 flight tickets, one to the States, one to Trinidad, and then within a couple of weeks later I went back again to Trinidad. And it's about over the years, individuals knew who I was because I always came along and promoted that I'm making soca music in the UK. And it just so happened is like wildfire, once that catch, boom, it started light, then boom, this happened, this one, oh, that's my boy, hey, boom, boom, and the dots just start to connect. So what I would say in having or getting that success is years of graphing, is years of networking and building that network. But you can't build a network and one success if your product is not good enough. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to, Yes, some people in the comments mentioning you have to bust in the Caribbean before you come here, or there's always a saying that you're never really appreciated at home. Outside will appreciate you more. You understand? Before home, and it's funny, that's just how it is. You understand? But once your product is solid enough and undeniable, that's it, man. So I just say, you have to, it's the long haul, it's not a short overnight thing. You know what I mean? It's the long haul. So yeah, I definitely would say my suggestion would be, don't just think, you can't think as a soca artist. You have to think as an artist, as a musician, as a writer. Like you have to see yourself in that realm, because if you're seeing yourself as a soca artist, you're just pigeonholing yourself. You're putting yourself in a box that is seasonal, So yeah, But I'm sure your question was, because we drifted, your question was, should soca monarch be in carnival, right?
No, I said, should soca music be taken more
Right.
seriously during the Notting Hill Carnival
Yeah.
season?
Yeah,
But
but
then,
it shouldn't just rely on the Notting Hill. The Notting Hill, if you are based here, the Notting Hill should be what you regard as the World Cup or the Champions League for your music to be displayed. So you have to think about all the other carnivals, all the other things in building the brand, you know? So yeah.
well, yeah, because somebody just made a very valid point, Junior Innes, saying that the music should be centered both for the UK and international markets. But then, for me personally, soca is soca. Once it's good, I'll dance to it, regardless if it's from Grenada, Trinidad, Barbados, wherever. Once it's good, it's good. And you know, you guys' music could be played, I feel, anywhere in the Caribbean. So, I mean, that's just my personal take. I mean, do you have? I'm assuming, I don't want to talk for you guys, that you have the intention when you make songs is to be played everywhere.
Yeah, if I just jump in, I think a lot of the focus of a lot of the artists based in the UK is acceptance in the UK and why their music's not being played. And I think that focus is completely flawed. You don't we none of us as creatives go in a studio to create something for our music to just be played in one area and one sector, right? And this is where a lot of our issues come from. I think we need to start broadening our horizons and actually think about where you want your music to reach and who your audience is. We talk about music being accepted globally and in different areas, not just the Caribbean, but look at our content. What are we singing about? Do people want to hear about the same content consistently over and over? Some people will accept that. Our Caribbean people that we are targeting, they're already sold. They already know the soca music. But how do we get our music out there? Our production, again, the content. This is the things we need to think about. The only way that we could continue to grow is by actually studying, looking at what is being accepted out there. And yeah, I agree with what Sandivas was saying. Some people sing the most trash and it goes viral, but the viral stuff and some of the nonsense stuff is only for a moment. Do you want to be in the hype for your song to be hyped for a month or 6 weeks, or do you want a song to last? So it all depends on people's focus on what you want out of your music, out of your career. That's where it is. Are you taking your music serious? Because at the end of the day, if you're not, no one is gonna take your music serious. So that's all I gotta say on that matter right now. Stop boxing ourselves in. Stop.
Just to clarify, Junior meant marketing both here and internationally, not just about the music. That's very true what you just said. I mean, obviously, if you only think inside the box, you'll limit yourself. So you need to be thinking a bit further afield. Which
Can
now
I
brings
add?
me to my. Oh, did somebody say something?
I wanted to add something.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
white boy.
I think Paja or Paja. I don't even know you pronounce it. Paja, right? Yeah, Paja. He touched on it, and I think someone else, I can't even remember if it was Trini Boy GC or Sandy Evans. But yo, what I was gonna say is the soca we're making in the UK, is the content and not even just the content of the vocals, but even the production. Is it enough? Like, obviously, listen, we're sticking to it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to stick to the roots and the origins of where it comes from originally, right? But you got to think, when you're in England, it's like, even in Notting Hill Carnival, they start playing drill, and which is a whole other topic, by the way. Afro beats here and but a lot of these genres as well are very mixed and blend and blah blah blah. So anyways, long story short, is what I'm trying to say is what we're singing about relatable enough to, let's say, the 18-year-old down the road and the 21 like to the kids, 15, 16-year-olds? Because I've even done my little market research and been like, there's youths that their parents are from Barbados. And I'm like, yo, so and they're like, nah, I don't listen to soca. Like, they can't even name 3 soca songs. But I'm pretty sure. Then I was speaking to him. So if I made like a, but they know of the sound. But I was like, but yo, so say for example, someone made like a soca song, but it had like a different twist or whatever, UK kind of. They're like, yeah, they're more likely to listen to it. So it's like me personally, I need to think about. I can only talk for myself. I need to think about, is the music relatable enough to the broader audience, or do I want to, like Pajol said, box myself into just one community where, you know, the soca lovers are going to love it and it's amazing, but how do I make more people soca lovers? Like, the reason I speak like this is because my personal experiences, I wasn't from knee high, you know, my parents are not West Indian, so I didn't necessarily grow up on it like that. So I had to learn and be embraced somehow by my friends and my peers. Does that make sense? So I think in terms of, huh?
How you get into soca?
I cut out.
How you get into soca?
By having friends, like, you know,
who you sat down and talk to? Who you sat down and talk to?
Every time, yeah. So, but that was after I made the first song, you know. But he always told me to stay in the game when I was just dancing, and you know what I mean, Chinny Boy Juicy, I take my hat off, you know what I mean. Always told me, gave me good advice and stuff. But long story short, I just feel like, the question I want to ask is, are we making music that is going to only stay within the soca community in the UK, or to, let's say, the African community or the Asian community and stuff like that? Is it broad enough to reach those places? Does that make sense? To the average kid who lives in Northampton or Leeds or Coventry or Leicester, because it's not just London, you know. Do you know what I mean? So is it relatable enough to people outside the community? This is what I'm trying to figure out. Because if it's not, and we just want to make it sound like how it's, you know, then naturally it will get more attention abroad, because it just sounds like the songs from abroad. They're only gonna love it because obviously it sounds like that, what they're used to. Whereas people from the UK are scared of change and whatnot, so they might not understand it, they might not get it. So I endeavor personally to make music where it can relate. It can be soca, but it can also relate and sort of translate to the average teenager, 20s, 30s within the UK. And I think that's how, you know, eventually over time it will translate, like I say. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Crossover.
That's
the word I was looking for still. But yeah.
That's
just my little takes though. I just thought I'd add that. I forgot to add that when I was answering my question. So yeah, man.
No, that's a good point, because obviously if you're not brought up in the culture, you wouldn't necessarily know about soca unless, you know, your parents listen to it or you're into it. So I mean, as you said, when I was growing up in school, I think I was the only person that listened to soca regularly. Everybody was R&B, hip hop, bashment, you know. And when it got to like the summer holidays, it's like, oh yeah, Remy, where are you going for carnival? I was like, well, why are you following me? I'm gonna be behind the truck. No, we want to go to Rampage. And I was like, nah, I can't be listening to this music all year round. Carnival, I'm at a sound system. I need to be behind the truck.
You. But obviously, UK is very mixed, right? So
it is.
You know what I mean? It's like there's so many genres and so many cultures and so many, you know, things that people want to listen to. So it's like, you know, like I'm saying, if it's not relatable enough to the average kid in the UK, how can we expect it to be listened to? Like if they can't relate, or if they can't, you know. So
that's very true. That's very, very true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry. Which now leads me on to my next question. Are you ready? It's gonna rattle a few cages here. Can you tell us your most memorable performance and why it was your most memorable performance? And we're gonna kick it off with Pajo.
My most memorable performance is when I froze on Soca Frenzy, and I'll tell you why, because it's made me better today. I went on the stage and there was a mishap with the mic; it got tangled up. But I went on with this energy, thinking that I had the crowd. Having to stop and try and restart, I had no one moving. People started to walk away. For me, that was memorable because I learned so much from that. You know, I went away. Juicy could attest to it. I rang Juicy and we had a long talk about it. You know, and I'm someone who I don't look at my successes. I look at how I can improve and be better than where I was the next time. So for me, that I always use as a catalyst. I would never take that out my head. This is your failure. And I don't even want to look at it as a failure. This is a stepping stone. This was your learning. So for me, that was my most memorable one because it's just propelled me to do better and to learn.
Okay, that's good. Some divas.
You might have a different memorable one to me. My most memorable performance was obviously performing at Soca Monarch in St. Vincent. And it was memorable because I just couldn't believe I was doing it. And yeah, it was memorable because I was so nervous as well. Like, I was stupid nervous. But yeah, that's mine. What's yours, Sam?
Mine's is the same, but also because like we came from the UK and we had done like a bit of a press run beforehand where we had done like radio interviews, and they can hear that our accent is definitely from the UK, even though we throw a little, you know, mix and blend up in it. So I was like, are they gonna take us? Is that are they gonna take us seriously? And when we came off stage, like the guy was like, one of the news reporters came up to us and I was like, oh my gosh, your manager messaged me about, you know, interviewing you guys, and you know, I didn't really get back to him because I didn't really know anything, but I just saw your performance and you are the real deal. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I need to interview you tomorrow. And like, so yeah, I think that, and also the crowd was probably the biggest crowd we had ever performed to at that point. And the other thing was because I had watched hundreds of Soca Monarch videos on YouTube from the islands, whether it be Trinidad, St. Lucia, and I always used to watch the performances. Like Trinity Boy said, I'm into production, like I'll watch every aspect of it. So to finally actually be on an island and have that same stage, have a production, like it was just mad. Like I just couldn't believe it. Bit mind blowing. So yeah, that's why it was mine.
Okay, nice. White boy, what was your most memorable performance and why?
When I was in Grenada, obviously, to be fair, I didn't realize, like I knew I had a little bit of love when I reached, because the Big Ben song kind of circulated and it went a bit crazy. So yeah, but then I was only there for like 2 days, and most of the time I was in a car. I didn't really get to understand how, you know, the kind of impact I made, and it was a beautiful experience. I went to the Beach Fest. There was a thing called Beach Fest. And yeah, just ask them, yo, obviously it's a free event. It's just on Grand Anne's Beach. So I just said, look, can I perform as a special guest? Like, it's a competition thing. But I said, let me just perform this. And they said, cool. They gave me like a main set, which was great. And yeah, I was so nervous. Like Nadiva said, I was so nervous because I'm out of the UK. I'm going on stage saying, yo, I'm from London. Like, and it's a complete different accent and completely out of my comfort zone. And I was so scared, like thinking that I didn't know what was going to happen. And then like when I went on the stage, that feeling of, yo, I'm going to be big headed. Like, yo, the place erupted. And I said, yo, I walked off the stage feeling like the happiest man alive. So I was like, yeah, that was a blessing. But then also as well, this conversation about UK having love for soca. Listen, I went to Leeds, performed at a teenage event, like an under 18 event. And I said, this is how I wanted my set to go. I wanted him to play the beat, tease the crowd for like a whole minute before I even come on the stage. And I could hear the crowd singing, yeah, come sing Big Ben. Like I couldn't even hear the beat. I just hearing the crowd singing it. So I was like, oh, we can do this here. And it gave me faith that we can do this here. So I was like, those two was just like, yeah, man. Like if I never perform again, I'm so happy that I have them two experiences. Like, do you know what I mean? So
okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
most definitely.
And then Trinity Boy Juicy.
It's hard to it's hard to pin down one performance because every like I've had multiple moments which has been career changing or something that I took from the performance now. But if we're talking like back in the day, it would be definitely headlining Frenzy. I remember it was the well, I did it a couple times, but I think the first one when they took the risk, and when I say they take the risk at the time, one of my stipulations was with these promoters was to um you had to have my name on the flyer with them other artists. You need to have my ride already. You need to have my space backstage. You need to have like I had certain clauses that was part of my expectations. And I remember it was the Army Fed. And normally, when they bring over artists, they will put the barriers just in front of the stage now in Scala. But when Juicy was headlining, they didn't put no barriers, man. So they might be told, they might be assumed that it wouldn't be as busy or what. Listen, people was lying down on the stage because it had so much people. And I'll never forget that. For me, it was like, seeing how the crowd interacting and seeing the gradual growth, through my career, and that would have been in 2014, 2012, 2013, somewhere around that time there. And for me, it was an accomplishment in a way because it was establishing the brand, but also, getting what I wanted from the crowd, But yeah, I've had many other moments since then, which has been career defining. And I've always said in my head, like, the day when I know how to sing the song, I just come on and I always had this thing in my head, like, the first instrument or first song you hear, people I don't know what song it is, and I ain't singing. And that came to life when I did, it would have been Dreamland last year, with myself and Wetty, and it was the first time performing it after 2 years and hearing thousands, sing the song. And I remember having goose, like I wanted to cry because it was so humbling now, especially knowing, we just come out of a pandemic and, the emotions was high, So I would say definitely those two moments were career defining, in the sense of, yes, we need more of that, yeah.
Nice. That's very interesting. When I was at Dreamland and I lost my voice singing Bottle Overhead. Very nice, very nice. And also Massacre. We'll talk about that later. So I need to ask, because you guys make soca music, it's only right that I ask, what is your favorite soca song of all time and why? Look at Sunshine, like, oh, I can't think of one. I've got so many. I'm the same, but there must be one song that just, wherever you hear it, it's like, that is my tune. That's me. Go on, the diva.
Oh, not diva, sir.
I can't say this is. I mean, this is the closest that we're gonna get to it right now. Like the closest to my best favorite soca song ever, and it's High Mass by David Rudder.
Give praise.
I just love it.
Why is it your favorite of all time?
I love it because when I was growing up, it's one of the songs that made me fall in love with soca music. And the reason it made me fall in love with soca music is because I grew up in church, but so like one side of my family are really church, like the church side, and then one side is the Bacchanal side. So I grew up in both, and I felt like that song helped me to know that you can have both things in your life, basically. So that song's really important to me. And when me and my sister sing that and we just look at each other, we just love that tune in it. Yeah, it's one of, but there's other tunes that give me that feeling as well. But yeah, that's one from my childhood.
Okay. Pajo?
Blacks, let go. That song, there's Wake a Jumbie in me every single time I hear it. I could be tired and a fit. Hey, wait, yeah, I might not be play, spread. Yeah, I go on. That's me. That whole rhythm, my favorite rhythm. That's soca future rhythm. So for me, the Blacks on that, yeah, that take me back. And if I was to add another one, it had to be Big Truck. because I got my first wine on big truck. So that's
Okay,
them ones. Yeah.
nice. White boy, what's your favorite soca song of all time?
And that was quite interesting. Like I said to you, not even to get too deep. My first little experience at Carnival, I was in my teenage years. Is I just remember singing the song over and over again because it's my first ever, well, not first because I was going to dance hall, but first ever soca wine ever, and I never forget the wine. Just like Pajo said, you know, I can't remember the man's fucking name. Sorry to swear. What's the song? Primetime 69. I swear to you, went home and I'm like Googling and YouTubing. I don't even know what's the what's the man's name, man? I can't remember. Isaiah something, AZ something, but correct me. Yeah, I just go home and I was Googling like that song, trying to find it, and it's
Aria. Flippo.
Huh?
Flippo.
Say it again. Say the name.
Azaria. Flippo.
Azaria. That's what I was saying, but I'm just getting the pronounce. I can see the word in my head, but I can't pronounce the name. But yeah, I just remember that song, and because it's spelt differently, I remember spending like it's spelt Prymtym, so Primetime spelt in that mad way. So I remember spending hours trying to find it. Back in the days, you had to turn on your computer, and you know what I mean. You couldn't just find it on your phone. So yeah, so I remember trying to find that song for ages, and then but because that song stuck in my head, I just remember playing it like time and time again before Carnival. But I'm talking like a little English boy first experience in soca, like, you know what I mean. So I had about 3 songs that I just was playing time and time again the whole year until the next year, and then you get me. So yeah, that song stuck in my head, man. So yeah, massively.
No. Trinity Boy Juicy.
What's my favorite song, boy? It's hard. I think for me it would have been the song that get me loose, like feel to just whine and just go on bad, would have been Swinging Engine. Swinging Engine. Just like the rhythm, you know, just like I hearing it now, and it's like I think for me that is a song that that gave me a certain vibe, that gave me a certain mood, and I really liked it. So yeah, Swinging Engine for me.
Okay, that's good. I have so many favorite soca songs. We'd be here all night. So let's just say I have a lot. I have. I wanted to take it back to know who is your favorite, or sorry, what is your musical inspiration, and why? I know some divas touched before. They said they sang in the choir, they were in the church, etc. But what is your musical inspiration when it comes to singing these lovely soca songs that we love to hear all year round?
Who going first?
Well, you spoke first, so you, white boy.
Oh, I love a man for sure, man. The first time I really saw like an electric performance from a soca artist, like the energy and I've never seen in my life. I was like, and the response, the flames, and the when I was in Grenada, 2017. This is before I'd even touched music. Just seeing how he lights up a stage. Is that the energy, the swag that he had, the way that he had his people like singing word for word, even when sometimes he forgets his own lyrics, the crowd reminds him, like, you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of madness. So yeah, and then of course he was the first. Have to always give praise to Lava Man. He was the first person to really believe in me, if that makes sense, because I had him on social media already from before, and you know what I mean, he sent me the first ever rhythm I had. So and it was a big rhythm. So and I wasn't aware that it was a big rhythm. He just put me on it and said, give me a chance. It's like all other big artists that's already been in the game for years, and me, my first ever song was on a big rhythm, and he gave me that chance. So you have to say that's the biggest influence for sure. 100%.
Trini Boy Juicy, who is your musical inspiration and why?
I get information. I get inspiration from various things. Um, one of my one of the artists within the genre that stood out for me was Mighty Shadow. His style, you know, the way he was, the way he would, put songs together musically. Um, you know, but then I listen to different genres of music, so I don't actually listen to soca, you know what I mean, because I don't want it to influence, So for me, it's like I listen to a range of different songs, just to, I guess, to trigger, different creativity, So, but yeah, Mighty Shadow would have been one of the first ones that Marshall would be for his productions. There's nobody in the world in our industry who could produce a production like him, um, in that sense. So yeah, it'd be a cross between, Marshall, Shadow, and well, old school Lord Kitchener. You know what I mean? I'm a pan man. That would have been, his melodies, his lyrics, his concepts, was amazing, So I was my inspiration is quite culturally grounded, you know what I mean? From the roots. That's what I heard, you know what I mean? And that's what inspired me, but so that's where I'm at.
Okay. Pajo?
Yeah, growing up for me was music, soca music was very rampant in the house, but also a lot of cross genre stuff. So growing up to a lot of the old soul, the Barry Whites, the Luther Vandrosses, these are people who inspired you to just do music, quality music. From soca, it was your Marshalls, your Super Blues, your Shadows, Sparrows, these guys, storytellers who could have come out there and just grab you right away, and they're not losing you until they're ready to. These are the artists that captivated me. There was a band that growing up, I saw them perform a few times and was like electric, and that's Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. I know there's a lot of people won't mention them, but for me, they took a lot of the legendary songs and the way in which they sold it was even better for me. So yeah, definitely those are my influences. But just like Juicy, I listen to so much different things, down to rock and all of them dark goth things. I listen to anything because you never know where the inspiration comes from for me. But I have to run. And I just want to say thank you for having me. But yeah, I do have to run at this point. But
That's
yeah.
fine. Quickly before you go, just tell us where you're going to be performing over the Notting Hill Carnival season and your socials where people can follow you.
Yeah, got quite a few places. Titan Festival for one, is where I sort of kickstart the season on the 21st. I think I'm forgetting things already. Just Vibes. There's quite a few. Wonderland, I'll be there. I know I'm waiting for Juicy give me a call, but I ain't getting the call yet. But I'm playing. But yeah, there's a few places I can't remember off the top, but I'll put out a calendar soon with the places. But you could follow me, Pajo Music Official, on Instagram, Pajo Music everywhere else. So yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for joining in.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
No problem, and take
Hey,
care.
guys, have a good night.
Thank you. Sun Divas, we will get back to your musical inspiration. Oh, we are joined by Coco P. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Lovely. You're just in time because
I just landed from London. Some of you live in London.
Yeah, I mean, I do. West is best, you know.
I was in East as well.
You was all over, man.
All over.
You TFL. Yeah, I invited you into this chat.
Absolutely.
Solely because this year you've done your UK Soca Monarch.
UK Soca Monarch, yeah, went down ahead. 2019, 2022, yeah.
Okay. And so I just wanted to get an insight into obviously why you decided to do the Soca Monarch. We'll start with that. So why did you decide to do a Soca Monarch?
Well, why is interesting? Because there was nothing happening for a number of years. 2019, it didn't happen. I mean, you have a lot of singers here. Trinity Boy Juicy, Sun Divas, bless up everybody. Wine Boy, White Boy. And Trinity Boy Juicy and Sun Diva, they know a bit more history about the lapse between the Soca Monarch competition, but this is totally different. Europe, United Kingdom. So it was all about that Brexit issue that was happening. The agenda is more than just just a small thing. It was about Brexit and tackling that issue that was caused by people who voted out of Europe. So for me, it was a political thing, and I thought a political answer to keeping Caribbean people and the community in a particular kind of togetherness is start a Europe United Kingdom thing. And that's what I did. And 2019, it went on. Wetty Beats won. Wetty Beats so wasn't so heavy as a soca artist on the scene, but as a big producer, everybody knows that. As a producer internationally, he won the title then. And then, of course, COVID happened. We went back into 22. And this year, down in Southampton, Culture Man won the competition. Online, it was fantastic because we had over 6,000 interactions, 4,000 people via the website, UK Soca Monarch, EUKSM.com, and over 1,000 people voting online for the 4 finalists. So that was quite key. This time we had 8 countries voting. We were able to analyze, and the statistics showed a lot of people was interested in soca online. So 8 countries were involved. We had 4 radio stations playing everybody's music for over 5 weeks. So quite a lot of traction for a lot of the artists taking part. And then 4 finalists. Pajo came second, Culture Man. Interestingly, Mari was third, and Natalia from Switzerland was she came fourth in the competition. So
okay, so just touching, because we spoke about this previously or beforehand, that we've got so many different UK Soca Monarch events. Would you ever consider just all joining and just making one big Soca Monarch for the UK artists?
So what do you mean by when you say we have a lot of things going on? What do you mean specifically?
So they had, what was it, the ACS ones for the Calypso. Then we had the UK Soca Monarch that was done by Soca News back in the day. Obviously your one now. Would you think to all join collectively to make one big one, one uniformed one for the UK soca artists to take part
Well,
in?
you would have to address that with a collective body. There was no collective body, So when you talk about if we would all do that, I don't think the one that Soca News was running. That's what I mean. There was a gap that stopped for a number of years, didn't it? I mean, when was the last show you did, Juicy, with that? 2017, 2016, around that time, right? Yeah, so there was quite a gap there, Remedy. So 2017 to 2019, 2 years or more than that, I think. But as a collective, I mean, I've approached that idea with lots of people. I mean, and nobody's here to defend that or to speak about that. So that's quite a difficult thing to answer. I can't speak for Akasa. I've been working with before with the ABC since 1999. Wow. With the ABC as the MC. And over the years, the competition has grown. And then with Akasa, they brought soca in on a sort of groovy soca basis. Sun Divas there, they've won some titles there via that competition. But you see, part of the issue with that is, and I cannot, as I'm saying, I could only answer for what I am doing. I am doing what I'm doing because the obvious answer is other people do not want to do what I'm doing, if that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. They're doing what they're doing. And I mean, I've approached the situation via Notting Hill Carnival Village. I reached out in 2019 to JC. But, that's what it is. So I think that's a kind of broader, if there was a bigger body, that might be addressed differently. But,
Okay. Interesting. So literally to move forward, we need to just, I think people need to sit down, have a meeting and see how we can work for everyone so we can put ourselves out there on the map.
Well, I mean, I think people are on the map. I mean, you know, the artists you have here have put themselves on the map via
No, not the artists. I
all
meant
sorts
as
of
in
different avenues. I mean,
like
you
the
know,
UK Soca Monarch, you know, really get a hype on it and, you know, for future years to come.
I mean, I'm not sure what the question or the statement is about, because
No,
you
I
have
was
UK artists on the platform. I mean, they could share their points of view. I mean, you know, in terms of, you know, I think UK Soca Monarch is reaching a big, you know, we have VP Records involved in looking at soca artists, in trying to sign some artists. Next year will be a big year for certain artists with VP Records, and that's just one thing that we were able to accomplish. You know, we've got sponsorship from you know, Bounty in St. Lucia, who are more interested in soca music, in supporting artists.
I'm listening.
You know, and you have so more things internationally happening for soca artists. I think via all the competitions you have, lots of artists are achieving much more. There's much more platform around. So, you know, it's not so much, it's about platforms as well, isn't it? And a lot of more platforms are being improved on. So,
okay. And well, thank you for your input. And just quickly, what's your favorite soca song of all time?
my favorite soca song. I don't know. I do I have a favorite soca song?
Okay.
I'm just thinking about David Rudder.
Okay. Which song?
Well, Trinity the Bone or Bottom on the Road, you know. It's gonna be Trinity the Bone. I think it's just Doggy Slaughter, Soca in My Blood, and Trinity to the Bone. You know, it's got to be Dog. So I don't know if Doggy Slaughter will take that one, but that's one of my favorite. You know, Soca in My Blood. That's got to be one of the tops there for me, and certainly David Rudder. You know.
Nice. And just quickly before we wrap up, Sun Divas, who is your musical inspiration and why?
I think we have quite a few. I think I mentioned some in our like what made us become artists question. Marshall, of course, for like stage production. If we're speaking of soca, like literally being able to put on a show and literally electrify a venue and get people super engaged, happy, excited. I remember when I saw him live for the first time in Trinidad, I was literally confused. I just was like, wow, what is this? Even though I had seen him perform a million times online, to experience that live, I was like, this is next level. This is literally what I would expect from, you know, other artists outside of soca. And then like Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5s for the same reason. And yeah, I feel like we really like putting on a show, incorporating music and dance. I feel like we're known for that in terms of our performances. That's kind of what like put us on the map in the early days. People really liked the dance aspect of our performances as well. And then singers like Whitney Houston. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You're going to.
I went from performance to vocals, but yeah, go on.
Yeah. Whitney's definitely a main one, but I was thinking my soca ones, the voices of Destra and Alice. They like when I used to hear them sing and I used to sing their songs, I used to dead ass feel like that was me anyway. Like I'm like, this is me. And it's so crazy because now I'm actually a soca artist. I'm just like, it was just energy. Do you know what I mean? So those Destra specifically and Alison. And then Nadia Batson was in a group earlier on and she had a song like
Yaga.
Or chant or something, yeah. But I didn't know it was Nadia Batson. It was just like the song that did it for me when it came to being one of my favorite songs. And then I found out like not recently, but like quite a few years ago, that Nadia Batson was in a group, and she's one of the voices. So it's like the voices kind of stayed with me because she's one of my favorites now. But when I was young, I didn't know if she was the voice of that song. So like, yeah, I'll say Nadia, Alice, and Destra. They're like my soca inspirations.
Nice.
If you were talking about music in general, then we grew up on literally lovers rock, reggae.
I know it's so vast.
I love Banton. I love loads of like Janet Kay, Louisa Marks. Like we love lovers rock. We love really well written songs. With
it would take us a year to answer this question. Let's be real. Like,
and of course, gospel music, which is why one of our early songs was like a gospel soca song. So yeah.
And also the St. Lucian music influence. Our grandma to listen to Jim Reeves. She used to make us listen to Jim Reeves, and that's so random, but like I love Jim Reeves' music. I love the rights. It's so like it's just about love, and it's jokes as well. It reminds me of Calypso. And then growing up like around my dad, it was just Calypso, so like kitsch, and yeah, it's so vast. I wouldn't know where to start, but those are some of the key ones.
Okay. Well, I must say, thank you all for taking part in this discussion. It's been very insightful. And before we go, if you all want to just give us your socials or where we can find you and where you'll be performing / jumping up with for the Notting Hill Carnival, we shall start with. I know Coco P, you're not really well. I should say, Coco P, who you gonna be jumping up with this year for Carnival?
Well, that's interesting. I've started I'm launching Masala Mass for the Sunday, and that's something that's an interesting thing. So I may be around different platforms, maybe, but Masala Mass on Sunday, certainly. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. Wear yellow.
Wear yellow.
Yeah, but I'm doing a lot of storytelling and stuff, different shows around, So for the Carnival week before Notting Hill, we're doing some projects in East London and Newham, young people. So it's quite a few projects taking place.
Okay, and if anybody wanted to follow the Europe Soca Monarch, where could they find that?
So for anybody not following, is EUK_Soca_Monarch on the Instagram. And that's on Facebook as well. But yeah, that's the IG.
Nice. White boy, where can we find you during this carnival season, and what's your socials?
I'm just with my friends. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be about. I ain't jumping with no band this year. I'm making it my rule. I'm gonna go back to. I said this year because of the 2-year break. I'm gonna make it my business to jump with people that. Some friends that I'm not even soca scene and just go and do it how I did it when I first went to Carnival. I don't know why I've made that my mission this year. I'm gonna go back to where it started and just enjoy it like a regular fan, like a regular Carnival goer. But I will probably be predominantly with Island Master because my Grenada soca, you know what I mean. But yeah.
On social, find you
White boy _official _official on everything. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Trini boy Juicy, where are you gonna be this carnival?
I'll be in my house, Gil. I'm looking to just stay home. I ain't looking to do nothing this time.
You're right.
Hold on, the pig flying in the sky.
I'm the first and most important. I mean, I'm very busy, super busy. So it's easy to give out my socials, which is at TriniBoyJuicy, TriniBoyJuicie, where you could find all the places where I'll be updating where I am, where I'm performing. But the main focus is my concert. I'm doing a concert the Carnival Thursday. Everyone in here is invited. So as I said,
I appreciate that.
Juicy Thursday, you know what I mean? Juicy Thursday, live band, live sound, you know what I mean? And I think it's important to plant that seed, you know what I mean, to start it off So yeah, Juicy Thursday, 25th
Where's-
of August. That's the main space where if you don't know, get to know. And yeah,
Where's it
man,
taking place?
in Subterranea, Laba Grove. So normally it's hard because Thursday night is when we normally practice outside Pan for Panorama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the timing is very, you know, but again, for me, sometimes you have to make that sacrifice. And, you know, this year we launching the Juicy Thursday. So in Subterranea, live band, I have a crazy lineup. Some surprise guest artists as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the 25th
Nice.
of August is the place to be, you know.
Yeah, man.
Nice. And do we get free entry if we have our bottles over our head?
You know, you have to come with that case. Come with that case of bottles.
Wait, what? You heard that, yeah? When I come
Yeah,
with my kids
Remy
and my
D with
crew,
but
I don't
Yeah,
want to
man.
turn away, you know?
Everybody in here, I mean, you know, I ain't get chance to reach around to people personally yet. Because as you know, when you're putting on something like this, and you know, so there's a lot happening at the moment, but this is an open invitation for the cast right here, you know. But the rest of the year, man, tickets are available. They're cheap right now. First and second release don't sell out. So well, look at all the tickets, man. You don't know, right?
Yeah, Cocoa Peace. And the Sun Divas. Where can we find you on socials, and where will you be this carnival season?
So on socials, you can find us at Sun Divas, SUNDIVAS. On Twitter, we are the Sun Divas or the Sun Divas. All our music is at Sun Divas. Well, not at Sun Divas on Spotify, all the streaming platforms, and our older music is at Sunshine and Nadiva.
Nice.
You can find us over carnival season in different places, which I don't know all the addresses and dates of, but we will release a calendar. But we'll be doing a few shows, so like Just Vibes, be at that as well. I think Padjo's mentioned that. We will be doing a carnival warm-up event, which hopefully we'll post a flyer for coming at that. Possibly we've got something good happening Carnival Thursday as well, but we'll post all our dates, but we've got some shows that are unconfirmed as well, but we should be quite busy. Looking forward to it.
That's brilliant. Well, like I said, thank you all very much, and keep up the good work, because you guys make some absolutely brilliant music, and it should be played all year round, not just in the month of August. But no, thank you for taking part.
Thanks for having us. Shout out you, Remy D, every time. Shout out Carnival Slayers for putting this
Thanks
out.
for having me.
No problem. And yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully over the carnival season.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Love.
Take care.
See everybody. Pick up yourself.
Bye.
Chini, pick up yourself.
Yeah, man.
Later.
Rabidi, everybody.